Welcome back, guys. Episode 6 of History Down the Pub.
Today we're in the beautiful coastal town of Orford.
And we'll be talking about the Wild Man of Orford.
Yeah, and he's wild.
And a man.
It's a wild story. Stay tuned.
You better go and check this recording and see what it looks like. He don't pay us enough for this, I tell you. Wait till we're famous.
Imagine you're a fisherman on the Suffolk coast nearly 900 years ago. The sea is rough, your nets are heavy, but when you haul them aboard, you discover something impossible. Not a fish, not a seal, a man. Naked, covered in hair, unable or unwilling to talk. A creature so strange that even medieval chroniclers struggled to explain what they had seen. Was he a wild man? A castaway? A creature from the sea? Or was he something even more mysterious? This is the legend of the Wild Man of Orford, one of English's strangest medieval mysteries. Before we meet the Wild Man, we need to understand the place where the story unfolds. Rising above the small fishing Suffolk town is this beautiful castle, Orford Castle. Built between 1165 and 1173 by King Henry II, the castle is not simply a defensive structure. It was a statement of royal power. Henry wanted to strengthen his control over East Anglia and keep powerful local nobles, particularly the Bigod family, in check. Unlike many Norman castles, Orford's keep is unique. Its unusual shape and sophisticated design makes it one of the most remarkable surviving castles in England. Even today, nearly 9 centuries later, the great keep dominates the landscape. But while kings, nobles and soldiers passed through these walls, it would become more famous as something far more stranger, a visitor from the sea. The story comes to us through a medieval chronicle, our old mate named Ralph of Coggeshall. I don't know if you remember him from the last episode, The Green Children of Woolpit. If you haven't seen it, get on it, please, it's just been released. Anyway, according to his account, sometime around 1167, fishermen working off the coast near Orford made an extraordinary catch. Tangling in their nets was a man. At least, he appeared to be a man. He was naked, covered in coarse hair. He could not or would not talk. His behaviour was animal-like. The fishermen had never seen anything like him. Unsure what to do, they brought their captives here to Orford Castle, where the local authorities took charge of the strange prisoner. Imagine the scene. Bewildered crowd gathering around the castle gates. Guards staring in disbelief. Officials trying to question a creature that seemed incapable of answering. For medieval people, this was not merely unusual. It challenged their understanding of the world itself. The Wild Man was kept inside the castle for months. According to the chroniclers, attempts were made to discover who or what he was. Questions brought no answers. Threats achieved nothing. Some accounts even suggest that he was tortured in an effort to force him to speak, but he remained silent. The castle's captors observed his behaviour carefully. He ate fish eagerly. He seemed to be drawn to water. Nothing about him suggests an ordinary man. One account says he was taken to church and shown sacred rituals of Christianity. To the astonishment of those present, he appeared completely indifferent. In a deeply religious age, that only made him seem more mysterious. Was he a feral human? Someone raised in isolation? A foreign sailor unable to communicate? Or something else entirely? Nobody knew. And the longer he stayed at Orford Castle, the stranger the mystery became. Then, one day, the Wild Man escaped. The details vary depending on the versions of the story, but the ending remains largely the same. He fled from captivity and made his way back to the water. Witnesses reportedly saw him plunge into the sea and disappear. No search party found him. No explanation was ever given. He simply vanished, as if the sea had reclaimed one of its own. And that was where the historical records ends, but the legends was only just beginning. As the story spread through centuries, it evolved. Later retellings transformed the Wild Man into something more extraordinary. A merman. A creature half human and half fish. Medieval Europe was filled with tales of strange beings lurking beyond the known world. Sailors reported sea monsters, mermaids, and mysterious creatures inhabiting distant waters. The Wild Man and Orford perfectly fit into this tradition. It's easy to see how the story changed over time. A silent captive who loved fish. A man who escaped to the sea. A mysterious stranger with no known origin. To later generations, the leap from Wild Man to Merman, it wasn't a difficult one. And so, the legend grew. What's remarkable is that the traces of the legend still survive today. In churches across Suffolk and Norfolk, Medieval carvings known as wild men appear on fronts and stonework. Some historians believe that the story of the Wild Man of Orford may have helped inspire or reinforce these local traditions. Visitors to Orford can even find references to the wild man in the town itself. The legend has become inseparable from the castle. For nearly 900 years, the story has been passed from generation to generation. Not because anybody can prove it happened, but because mysteries endure. So what was the Wild Man of Orford? Modern theories vary wildly. Perhaps he was a shipwrecked survivor, suffering from trauma. Perhaps he was mentally ill and just couldn't communicate. Maybe he was a foreign sailor whose language nobody understood. Or perhaps the entire story grew from misunderstanding and exaggeration. After all, medieval chroniclers mix fact, rumour and folklore far more freely than modern day historians. Yet one detail remains fascinating. Because our old mate Ralph of Coggeshall, he didn't present the story as pure fantasy. He recorded it as something that witnesses believed that generally happened. That doesn't prove the tale, but it does suggest that somewhere behind the legend there may have been a real event, a real person, a real mystery. Today, Orford Castle still stands above the Suffolk coast. The kings who built it are gone. The soldiers who guarded it are gone. Even the harbour that made Orford once prosperous has changed over time. But the story of the wild man remains. A tale suspended between history and folklore. A reminder that medieval England was not only a world of kings and castles, but also a world filled with wonder, fear and the unknown. And perhaps that's why the mystery survives. Because somewhere beyond the walls of Orford Castle and the waves of the North Sea, we still find ourselves asking the same question people were asking nearly 900 years ago. Who or what was the Wild Man of Orford? Do you think the Wild Man of Orford was a real person, a merman, or simply medieval folklore? Please, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Cameraman, after a long day's work, being shouted at by yours truly, he does all right.
I do. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'll remind you of that. Lovely Orford. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the... Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Orford Wild Man. We love you. I want to do just one special...
Shout out is the word he was looking for.
What a dickhead.
Okay. I want to thank
Serious,
Yeah,
Billy.
don't.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I just want to do one shout out, if you don't mind. Susan Hardy, you beautiful woman. She gave us the idea of the Orford Wild Man. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else there with any ideas? We'll give you a shout out if we do it. So
Whack them in the comments.
whack them in
Don't
the
be
comments.
shy.
Comment.
Please comment, like,
Share.
subscribe, share. Do it all.
Every social.
Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching, just take a second. Press that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Peace out.